So that brings us to our first semifinal game. The Braves, the WDA tournament season champions, against the Rough Riders of Red River, the EDC regular season champions. And the keys to the game are brought to you by the North Dakota State College of Science, the science of success.
Well, when you're talking about manage the tempo for Mandan, that means taking maybe 30 seconds of the shot clock down, 30 of 35, simply because Red River is so good in transition, so going up and down. If Mandan can establish a tempo, a little bit slower pace, then grind it out. That's what playing Bismarck High prepares you for. That's what playing Minot High prepares you for. That's what the West prepares you for. So if Mandan can get it into a grinder, then they're going to like it a little bit more.
This game is a contrast of styles. Mandan wants the grinder. Red River is good in the open court. They want the transition game. They feed off early momentum. So hitting early shots is a key factor today for the Riders. The Farrell factor, that's Ricky Farrell. The state knows about Mac Arvidsson and Mac Croplin, the Mac attack, the big 1-2. But in a game in which the Riders could see some of the better defense they've seen this season, and in prior games this year when that's happened, Ricky Farrell has been real key for the Rough Riders.
Yep, that third scoring option could be the X factor. Jacob Cowker could be our X factor. He will join us today and throughout the tournament down on the sidelines. Jacob, welcome to the Super 8.
Talk about expectations. The X factor of the team, I appreciate that little, maybe the difference maker here. The difference maker, I think, in this one will just be the effort that Mandan brings early on. They graded their effort as a team after yesterday's game as an F defensively. They allowed too many easy points, too many points in transition. If they can improve that effort defensively especially, that could be a key. And again, they will face a test tough in the athleticism and the size of Red River. So it's going to be that effort right out of the gate for the Braves.
Yeah, and for the Braves, if the game is on the line, it'll be Devin Coyle time. He had 26 points yesterday. He's the leading scorer on the team. He hit the game winner to earn the #1 seed against Bismarck in the WDA. He's done it so many times. He is so good at being able to rise to the occasion in the clutch. Devin Coyle, if the game is close, look for the ball in his hands.
Part one of the Mac attack. Mac Arvidsson, 6'2" senior, first team all EDC selection, and crazy to say that he had somewhat of a less than great day yesterday and still ended up with 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 assists on today. Mac Arvidsson, one of the definitely top players in the state, along with Devin Coyle.
Well, our starting lineups this afternoon are brought to you by Bank of North Dakota. And the Braves will start like this. They have 4 seniors and a junior in the starting lineup. There's Devin Coyle, the senior. He's got about half of his team's three-pointers this year. Aaron Collins is the lone junior, but a returning starter. He is the second leading scorer. Aaron Jans at 11 points a game. Good three-point shooter. Got hot yesterday in the first half. Had a double-double yesterday. Jake Watson, he is a 6'2" senior. Had 5 offensive boards yesterday. Faden Marcellet is the starting center. Faden is 6'3" senior. And Jason Horner, in his 4th year, is the head coach of the Mandan Braves.
Here's how the Rough Riders will open today. There's Mac Arvidsson, the 6'2" senior, who averages 19 points a game. His running mate, the other half of the Mac attack, Mac Croplin, 6'2" junior, and Croplin also averages just under 19 points a game. Ricky Farrell, athletic, 6'2" and a senior. Matt Anderson, one of the role players for the Rough Riders, 6'2" and a junior. And the big guy is John Hopkins, a 6'6" junior for Jason Gregory in his 5th year as head coach of the Riders, the former head coach of Devils Lake, and he brought Devils Lake to a couple of state A tournaments.
So those are your starting lineups this afternoon, brought to you by Bank of North Dakota, promoting agriculture, commerce, and industry in our state for over 90 years. The Rough Riders at 21-2 opened the season on an 18-game winning streak before losing the final regular season game by a point down in Wahpeton. And then in the EDC title game, Shanley got them as well, so that's the only 2 losses for Red River. Mandan comes in at 18-5, and they have not lost since game 10, I believe, of the regular season. But, Ham, you were talking just to kind of set the stage a little bit more for Red River and the production of the Mac attack. You were crunching some numbers with those 2 guys yesterday, just in terms of what they mean offensively to their team.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of field goals attempted, Mac Arvidsson and Mac Croplin have attempted just a bit under 50% of every field goal that Red River has attempted this season.
Yeah, so you're relying on those two guys is what you're
Big
saying.
time.
Yeah.
You know what, LT? This game today, I think, pretty much illustrates the brand of basketball that was played this year in the WDA and the brand of basketball that was played in the EDC. The EDC featured transition offensive-oriented teams like Red River, like Fargo Shanley, like Davies. Wapenen was kind of the lone exception to that, but they're in the semifinals. The WDA, on the other half, grinded out defensive-oriented teams. Minot, Mandan, Bismarck High. And today is a clear illustration of that.
I think so. So that, watch the tempo. That'll be the biggest thing. And really, if you're a team that wants to run as Red River does, you need to rebound. The gentleman you're looking at or just saw right there was Tyler Burris. There's Tyler. He will not be able to play today. He's a 6'6" senior. Tyler had a concussion.
For Red River?
Yes, for Red River. Tyler had a concussion yesterday, so unfortunately he will have to watch today. Went through the test. The tests were not positive, so he'll have to watch his teammates in the semifinals.
And he gives them energy. They look to him for some energy inside on the post, and hit his head on the floor here at the Dome yesterday and went through those tests, and the doctors said, nope, you can't go today.
Presentation of colors and this afternoon's national anthem here at the Super A.
It's presented by the West Fargo Junior ROTC. Today's color guard, Lane Dockstader, Matt Bond, Nick Sopp. They're commanded by Garrett Irwin. The anthem is being sung today by Fargo North Choir, the 19th Avenue Jazz Choir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave, home of the brave.
This national anthem presentation has been brought to you by American Bank Center, member FDIC, your source for banking, investments, trust, and insurance.
Grand Forks, Red River, and Mandan start semifinal day at the Super A when we come back.
The telecast of these tournament games has been authorized by special arrangement with the Board of Directors of the North Dakota High School Activities Association.
Chad Palmer will throw the ball up. Darren Johnson and Dale Weston are the other two officials today, and Mandan will start the ball in their home whites.
Boy, the Braves just yesterday down 13 with about 4 to play. And an amazing comeback fueled by their leader, Devin Coyle. But it's a situation that Mandan was in just a week before against Bismarck in the WDA Tournament Championship game.
Marcellet's first shot comes down to Watson. You're right,
So,
and it was a similar situation. You know what, Ham? The shot that Coyle made in overtime from a very similar spot to the one that beat Bismarck.
One of the matchups you'll want to watch today is Matt Anderson, number 14 for Red River, drawing the early defensive assignment on Coyle. Anderson's got some length and some size at 6'2" and a good wingspan. They figure they can challenge him out there on the perimeter.
They set a screen for Coyle to get his first shot. Riders wearing the black.
Jason Horner calls Red River the most athletic and skilled team that they have played this season. Don't know why exactly Farrell turned around, but the end result's okay.
Yeah, just to make it a little more fancy, a little Ricky Farrell spinning jump shot. The name of Farrell in terms of basketball in the city of Grand Forks, that you should remember Ricky's older sister, Caitlin, who was a Miss Basketball winner. So different schools, same family. Little stop and go move there by Collins, and Hopland pulls down the rebound at 6'6". John will be the tallest player in this game today. Jans on Croplin.
And Coyle draws the assignment on Mac Arvidsson.
Croplin will pull from anywhere, and that one hit off the side. I don't think it was tipped, but apparently it was by Jans. So the Riders will keep it. Jans got a piece of it on the way up. That was one of the things, too, that Coach Horner was really wanting his team to concentrate on. Hands in the air when the shots go up. Jans with the steal. Anderson trying to hustle back. Jans will lay it in, and there's the first 2 points for Mandan.
Just good defense that time by Mandan, leading to those points. Red River had to hurry a little bit because that shot clock was going down, and it just wasn't a good decision by Farrell, and the pass was ill-executed, and 2 off the transition by Mandan.
Of course, when you're also facing a team that wants to run, making a few baskets helps slow them down. Spinning, and the second bounce no good. Farrell will go to the free throw line. Ricky active on the offensive side. He averages 6 rebounds a game, and for most teams that might be the lead, but for the Riders, Ricky's third on the team in rebounding.
And I think Farrell is kind of a microcosm, if you will, of the way this Red River team is built. He's athletic. He can do a lot of things, whether it's mid-range, inside, outside. As the game progresses today, you'll see Matt Croplin on the blocks down low. At times this season, Mac Arvidsson has been down on the blocks. So there's a lot of interchangeable parts for Red River, and that's made them a tough matchup team this entire season. A big reason why they were ranked number 1 for most of the season.
And Farrell has all 4 of Red River's points. Yeah, number 1, heading into the tournament. Little stop and go. Floater by Coyle, no good. Here's an outlet. Red River will like to transition.
Good job, though, by Jans and Collins to get back quickly there, LT.
Now Jans will face up against Mac Croplin. One of the 3 juniors in the starting lineup, and Farrell picks up a foul, but not so much the fact that he fouled, but I think where he was gives you an indication of what River's thinking with him.
There you go. They got Farrell on the baseline and to the blocks in a really good shooting position, and he's a good jumper too. So Farrell at 6'2", you get him in that ball in that position, he generally has a mismatch, and he's going to be pretty deadly in that position on the court.
Especially with Collins on him at 5'11".
Yeah.
And it's not so much the size there, but Collins is a point guard type of a person, as a moving screen will be called here against Mandan.
Yeah, so you're
Collins,
pulling.
He's not used to working down there. 14:46 to play. This is the first half. Class A plays 18-minute halves, and it's our first break. You see the score right there. The Riders out by 2.
Stop and Go is gone mobile. Download the free Stop and Go app today and get a free 16-ounce Mountain Dew and Hershey's Air Delight bar. Find the nearest Stop and Go and get money-saving deals with the new Stop and Go app. Download it today.
You're always there.
If you like to set your goals high, make hands-on decisions, all while meeting the world's demand for energy, Bismarck State College has your career. The energy industry looks to our National Energy Center of Excellence for a highly trained workforce. In just 2 years or less, you can be in a high-paying career. Can't make it to campus? Our courses are also offered online. The BSC National Energy Center of Excellence. Energy for your beyond. Get started at bscenergy.com.
Stop and Go is gone mobile. Download the free Stop and Go app today and get a free 16-ounce Mountain Dew and Hershey's Air Delight Bar. Find the nearest Stop and Go and get money-saving deals with the new Stop and Go app. Download it today.
You're always there.
Back at the Fargo Dome. First boys game of the day is Red River against Mandan. The second boys semifinal game will be tonight at 6:30. Fargo Shanley against Wahpeton. Century and Shanley girls play yet this afternoon. Laid it up a little bit short, did Hopland, but Marcellet had a good rebound.
Came off his hand flat, LT.
Jan's in the corner. He had all of his three-pointers in the first half yesterday. Came out shooting in that West Fargo game. That's what Mandan had its lead, is in the first half.
Until West Fargo went on a 12-0 run, which covered late first half, early second half.
Number 25 is Seth Westby, a 6'2" senior. First substitution for the Braves today. Arvidsson, nice crossover. That got him the jump shot, and it got him a foul on Devin Coyle. Mack to the free throw line, 77% on the year. As a team, the Riders pretty solid from that charity stripe, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, good free throw shooting team. And Arvidsson, Farrow, Anderson, Croplin, all those guys into the 70s on the season. And Arvidsson again has good jumping ability, which so many of these riders do.
And it helps him with his three-point shooting. And he is far and away, no, I take that back. He's second in the three-point shooting at 50. He's got 53 makes coming into this game. Now that again is one of those stats that would usually lead a team, but not when the other Mac is out there. Right through Westby's legs, but a little grind it move there for Mandan. Will alternate the possession on the jump ball, so it will go down as a turnover though, because Red River has the arrow.
Riders are getting good help defense right now, LT. You've seen it on the last two possessions. Go back to the prior possession when Coyle found himself against Anderson. They got some help defense on there.
Anderson drops it down low. Good post-up move by Arvidsson. Now Arvidsson with 3 points. A 5-point edge for Red River. And they've done it without the transition game that we've thought so much about.
No, they've done it in a half-court set.
Important for Mandan to get a shot to go, and there's Collins with the three. Collins, Coyle I talked about having about half the team's threes. Otherwise, it's Collins and Jans doing a lot of the three-point shooting. Croplin works to his left, and Arvidsson just blows right past Coyle with a pull-up jumper baseline. Great first move.
Quickness, leaping ability, and a good shooter. Pretty lethal combination.
Collins on the drive, double clutch scoop. Nice move by Aaron. We talked about
Croplin.
No, I was going to go with Farrow, but I mean with Farrow's sister being a Miss Basketball, I also want to say Aaron Collins' sister, Allie, also a Miss Basketball winner.
There you go. Oh, great feed. Oh, great feed by Croplin, but the big guy just didn't finish.
Now Croplin put it right on the hands of Hopland. Coyle in the corner.
Well, Croplin, that's part of his game. Leads this team in assists. This kid right here, number 50, and one of the top scorers, but also can really break down a defense. And
reverse side Farrow. Red River showing its athleticism in the half court.
No doubt about it. We thought, a lot of people thought, well, yeah, they're a full court team. What can they do in the half court? I think we've seen that on display here early in the first 5.5 minutes of the game, that their athleticism transcends into the half court as well as the full court.
And a foul after the shot went up goes against Aaron Jans. That's the first one on Jans' team's fourth. And right now, just from what we're witnessing here, I think we're seeing Red River with much better legs than Mandan. Mandan does not look real springy.
Well, that could be a carryover from yesterday.
The game and the emotion that it went into winning that thing.
It could be a team that from time to time this year has not had great starts, that sometimes needs a little adversity to really get their engines revved up.
Three-point shot is in for Chemnitz. So Chemnitz, Mitchell Anderson, and Chad Bartosh all came into the game for Red River. Mandan also made a move as Schmidt came in as well, but there's Jan scoring it and picking up a foul. Nathan Schmidt, number 4 for Mandan. So that resets it. Farmers Union Insurance replay.
Jan's lost it, gets it back, spins, finds himself open, and the foul comes in late on the backside of that defense. One of those that, you know, shaking your head if you're a Red River fan.
Jans makes the free throw. But Bartosh, the sophomore, Anderson, the senior, and Chemnitz, the junior. And all 3 of these guys play a lot of minutes this year.
Well, I'll tell you, if I told you we'd played 6 minutes of the game and who would have more field goal attempts after first 6 minutes, you would probably say Red River, but not to this point. Red River 5 of 9 from the field, 55%. Mandan 4 of 11 from the field.
Casey Couchman will come in as we go away to this break. Couchman, a 6'3" senior for the Mandan Braves, but it's Red River out by 4.
Red River's Ricky Farrow showing off part of this athleticism of the Rough Riders, and watch the bounce pass by Copeland, and then Farrow attacking the baseline and finishing with the sweet reverse.
6 points to lead all scorers right now. Ricky Farrow. Out front it comes to Bartosh, and he will go to the free throw line. Nice little pull-up move there by the sophomore.
Well, free throws a winning edge, and the Riders win yesterday. You take a look at their 73-57 win over St. Mary's. That score is a bit misleading.
Yes.
River got some easy layups late in the game, but they cashed in at the free throw line on a day, you know, when Arvidsson had an off shooting day. They made 14 of 17 free throws yesterday.
.7 rebounds for Chad yesterday, averaging just a point and a half, so that shows you how big the bench was. Here's some of that field goal shooting. The Riders in that half-court setting, which is what Mandan wants them in. Well, you don't want a team in it if they're going to make almost 60% of their shots. With the ball in a 5-point deficit right now. Westby on the high post.
Coyle gets arrested here for Mandan. Not for long, though. He's already up and going to come back into the game.
Backing in, but not hitting, was Watson. Chemnitz played big minutes yesterday, the kid with the ball right now.
Yeah, he played 25 minutes yesterday.
And it had a lot to do, obviously, with the matchup with St. Mary's, a guard-dominated type of team. But he came in and did some of that. He has 1-3, just missed that one. No real true center for Mandan in the game right now, so it's kind of a 5-out look. Westby into the lane on the drive. Mandan shots, even though, you know, they've got a few to go in, but they've been a little on the short side.
Little on the short side. They're getting the shot clock where they want it to be, but Red River's doing a good job on the defensive glass as well here in the first half.
Arvidsson's been real good to his left. He needed to switch off to stop the drive that time.
Of course, when you take Hoplin out, you know, Red River gets quite a bit smaller too. They still, you know, with that athleticism can get to the basket though, or get Copeland to the blocks perhaps.
On a back cut, Arvidsson. Ooh, it didn't go, and the tip's not there either. And it's going Mandan's way. Some of the starters for both teams coming back in. That's Jans. Coyle also came back in. There's a look at Hoplin. Ricky Farrow also returns to the game. And Anderson returns to Coyle as soon as those two come in. A hold on a cut through the lane somewhere.
It's physical in there.
The It's on Farrow, his second. Farrow and Jans are doing a little chirping too. They're doing just a little bit of talking. Now Matt Anderson comes in. Mitchell Anderson, number 4. Matt, number 14. Couldn't quite save it. Nice. The pass wasn't intended for Westby, but he tried to save it right there in front of the Riders bench.
I can count one time where Red Rivers had a true transition in this half LT.
Yep.
Other than that, Mandan is getting them to be what they want them to be. At this point, Red Rivers has been pretty good in the half-court execution. Good help defense.
Croplin got it to go. First field goal from Matt Croplin, an athletic one with a couple of guys on him. It goes down and he will go to the free throw line.
Well, that's one area right here as we take a look at the replay in which Matt Croplin has improved from a year ago. He's a lot stronger this season, and you need some strength to go up against that kind of defense and in the process of being fouled and finish that play. So a year ago, I don't know if Croplin makes that play. This year with his added strength, he does.
22 points yesterday. You saw that. There's his first 3 points of this game. Eight-point lead. Mandan, I mean, here we're 10 minutes into the game, but Mandan needs to make sure they stay in touch, and that's what that shot from Westby will help do.
Westby's their money coming off the bench. 11 points yesterday in the opening round.
Arvidsson got free on the backside. Oh, excuse me, that's Anderson. Foul on Jake Watson. The lineup for the free throws here. Seven rebounds yesterday for Mitchell Anderson, go along with 4 points. Now Marcellet will check in for Watson. Now we'll take a break after Mitchell made both of those, so it is an 8-point lead, 20-12. Red River leading Mandan. Want to welcome everyone watching live on the internet as well. ValleyNewsLive.com, KFYRTV.com. I know we had quite a bit of feedback last week from Grand Forks, people watching all over the country. It's always someone who knows someone who knows someone that wants to watch the game.
That's right. And for those who may be at work and, just kind of keeping an eye on the game as well as trying to get a little work done.
Yeah, you can pretend to watch it on the computer while you're working. If you pull the TV out and bring it into your cubicle or something, you're probably going to get caught.
Yeah, not so conspicuous, is it?
The pass was tipped away, intended for Marcellet. Now the battle was won by Red River.
Well, I know Jason Gregory right now has got to be really happy with the way his team is D'ing it up.
There's an indication of what I thought my observation was, is how Red River just seems to have a little bit more bounce today.
Yeah.
Arvidsson will return to the game, and he will replace Mitchell Anderson. One and one here for Croplin. .71% free throw shooter. And his ability to pass, and he had some beautiful ones yesterday, but coming in averaging over 7 assists a game. Good stuff.
And the Riders have attempted 11 free throws already here in the first about 10 minutes of the game.
Well, when you have attempted 11 and the other team's attempted 1, that's one of the ways you build a 10-point lead, no doubt about that. Schmidt, high archer, He tries to follow his own shot, digs at it, and I think he was the last one to tip it. Yeah, so it will go Red River's way. Coyle hasn't scored yet. All of Mandan scoring. 5 points for Collins and 5 points for Jans, and then Westby had that bucket off the bench. Coyle with a hand on it defensively, and he will get the turnover on the tie-up. It just seems weird to say that. I think these are some important early game possessions here for Mandan when you're down by 10.
Well, I think it's one of those things of just building up some offensive confidence. And, you know, I think it starts with number 14. If they try to roll him off a pick here and let him shoot or maybe get to the basket. And just a little pick-me-up right now, I think.
Trey Fitzsimmons is in for Mandan as Collins floats one high over Hoplin. Made him change that shot a little bit. Long pass ahead to Hoplin, and the big guy runs the floor and scores it, and the lead is 12. Timeout taken.
It's being done in the defensive end, LT. I mean, for a team that all year long was known for offense, up and down, transition. I mean, right now, through the first 11 minutes of the first half, they're winning this game with defense.
Well, rebound and go. That's the biggest. That's you know, if you're a team that wants to transition, get up and down the floor, there is no better way to do it than grab a clean rebound and then take off. And Hoplin took off that time and finished it to double the score on the Mandan Braves.
Well, the Riders are getting contributions from up and down their lineup too, LT.
Matt Anderson, who's had the defensive assignment on Coyle, he's the only player for the Riders who hasn't scored yet.
That's right. Who has played and hasn't scored.
Field goal shooting continues to be strong, over 50% for Red River. Mandan slides down. Coyle with a long deep three, and that didn't touch anything.
Now look who's walking the ball up the court.
Yeah.
Amazing what happens when you get an early double-digit lead. And
look at that elevation on that shot from Arvidsson, and Anderson with the rebound. He must have heard us talking about him not scoring him. There's his first 2 points.
Says, I want to be part of the mix too. 8 players have played for Red River, 8 players have scored.
And the lead is bigger than Mandan's point total right now. Marcellet draws a foul, and the first foul from Hoplin, just the third of the game against Red River.
Well, I think Jason Horner's looking for a spark from anybody. You know, Trey Fitzsimmons is in the game right now. He hasn't played, frankly, real well down the stretch, but at this juncture, you kind of play your deck here, play all your cards, and see who that guy is that's going to be the spark. I mean, a few games back, it was Nathan Schmidt who supplied that for Mandan.
Now it's Fitzsimmons having to guard Croplin, and an offensive foul on a moving screen is going to be the call. And it'll go against Chemnitz, I think. Second one on Blake. That brings Bartosh back in. Collins with not very good direction on that pass, but it was knocked right back to him.
Collins is a guy who believes he can make every play on the court. No problem with confidence with this kid.
Nope, he might need to try and make one pretty quick here. Shot clock to 9. Collins with the ball. Crossovers to the baseline. Croplin ahead. Bartosh had his shot blocked. And Collins draws a foul in the backcourt, dribbling through a potential double team.
Croplin's going to pick up the foul, I do believe. He was the help coming in.
That's 4 pretty quick fouls for Red River. It was just, I think, 2 for a little bit. And now it's team foul number 6. So No free throws as of yet. That's Jason Gregory in his 5th year from Devils Lake. Dan mentioned his coaching prowess with Devils Lake. Played in a couple of state tournaments. Nearing the 4-minute mark of the first half. Fitzsimmons. And the leading rebounder for the Riders pulls down the board there.
And another 1 and out. Look at those rebounds. 15-7. Double-digit, twice as many rebounds for Red River to this point of the game.
Really trying to get Cropland boxing up down low. Cropland. Keep correcting me when I blow his name all day because I'm going to. Sorry. Cropland's just got a couple of seconds to work with. Bartosh will have to heave it. He beat the shot clock and did hit the rim.
Not too many occasions during the course of the year was Red River casting a wild shot to beat the shot clock.
Solid job by Mandan defensively there. Marcellet will try to get some points, and he does. Oh, and the Braves needed a bucket.
That was a drought, LT.
Now Arvidsson will work off a double screen. Cropland hits the 3. Leading 3-point shooter on the team, well into the 70s. Lead is to 15 again. Marcellet to the high post. He hit his last shot. Cropland. I like the way he surveys the wings. He's always looking to see if he can find someone cutting to the basket.
Arvidsson this time posting him at the block, setting the pick, try to get Hopland free underneath there.
It bounces away from Hopland right to Coyle. At the 2-minute mark, Coyle spinned it up left hand, his first field goal.
Yeah, how about that? Under 2 minutes to play in the half, and Devin Coyle scores his first points of the game.
First foul on Arvidsson. As Casey Kautzman came in for Mandan. Casey 33. Coyle makes the 3-point play. We'll take the break with 1:58 to go first half. It's still a double-digit lead, though, for Red River, 29-17. The Farmers Union Insurance Fan Cam is at the Super 8. Farmers Union Insurance, premier partner of the North Dakota High School Activities Association. Red River, 15th appearance in the State A. Riders with 1 title. That title coming back in '69. Mandan in its 36th appearance in the State A, with 5 championships for the Braves, last one coming in '09 against West Fargo. Cropland, was it deflected? Nope.
I don't think it was. Despite that missed shot, pretty good start on the game for Cropland.
Outstanding. With those 5 rebounds, that's the bigger number than the 8 points,
Yep,
I think.
I think so too.
Kautzman will hand it back, and Coyle will pull.
A deep 3. And Red River would be happy again with that defensive set too. Coyle's a good shooter, but if you're forcing him into that kind of girthy 3-pointer, I think they would take that each time down the court.
Both teams leading scorers, missing on their shots on each end. Mandan has it under a minute. Almost an and one for Westby. He was fouled on the drive, though. Westby with 11 points yesterday.
Good all-around athlete.
Yep.
Good football player.
A lot of good football players on this Mandan team, and actually the term football hangover, if you will, has been used a little bit with this Mandan team just because you know, they went into the state semifinals against Bismarck, and you know, it took a while to get that. You know, football, basketball is just such a different animal, and, and when you compete that long and that hard in one sport, it takes a little while to get your legs in the other.
As you can see, 3 seconds separating the shot clock from the game clock.
And a timeout taken by the Riders with 12 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, it's all started in the defensive end of the court for that team today. They've got good help defense, forced Mandan into some bad shots. And when Mandan has had decent looks, it's been 1 and out.
Mandan breaks the huddle first, playing on the defensive side. Of course, it takes a little bit longer to draw the play up. Now, we all on the same page here, guys. It'll be a baseline inbound. Anderson will inbound it. Tried to drop the pass. It did go down to Hopland. It was deflected there for a moment. John was able to gather it up in just a few seconds to scope.
Well-designed play, though, because, you know, when Copeland receives that ball in the inbounds, you're not only get the main defender, you're going to get some help defender toward Copeland. He recognized that, sensed that going in, and just dropped it off.
First foul on Matt Anderson puts Devin Coyle to the line. When he goes to the free throw line, it just looks confident that he will make it, and he does a majority of the time.
Yeah, he has been the hero all season long for Mandan, and did it again yesterday, did it last week in the WDA championship game when Mandan trailed Bismarck High by 11 with 2.5 minutes left, and Coyle brought him back, similar to what he did against West Fargo in the quarterfinals yesterday.
Collins, the shooter, comes back in. Not almost a catch and shoot situation with just over 2 seconds left. Out front, Fitzsimmons lost his footing and traveled as he was catching the ball, but he was looking for Coyle on the return pass. And now Schmidt will come back in defensively for Collins. Arvidsson had a man right on his face. He couldn't get enough on that heave to go, but it was a 31-point first half and a defensive effort that only gave up 19. 12-point lead for the Riders. And taking this Mandan team and holding them to 19 points. That's a real good effort. Obviously, we showed some shooting percentages and how Mandan, you know, hasn't shot great, but a lot of that obviously has to do with how another team's defending it.
I think that's been dictated by Red River's half-court offense, and they knew that Mandan wanted to play a half-court game today. Well, to this point, Red River has, you know, stepped up defensively and played really good half-court defense and rebounded really, really well in the first half, and that's why they're up 31-19.
And so the Riders enjoying that lead, that 12-point lead. Jacob, go ahead.
All right, Jason Gregory, head coach over at Red River. You guys have a halftime lead here. Defense was really the key, it seemed like, in that first half.
You know, we put a lot of emphasis on defense all season, and if we don't come out, you know, in a big game like this and defend the way we know we can, you know, we'd be disappointed. So we just put a lot of emphasis on our rebound and our defense in the first half, and we just hope to continue to do that in the second.
How about the performance you've had against Devin Coyle, holding him to 1 field goal, just 4 points in the first half there.
You know, he's a great player. He's going to come on. He's going to hit his shots. I know he will. We just got to do a better job of contesting some of those shots and making it tough on him. He's a great player. Makes big shots, and this will be his type of half.
What do you think the biggest key is going to be here in the second half for your team?
It'll be the same thing. Defense, we got to get back on defense one. Then we got to, get a stop. Then we rebound. Then hopefully that gets our transition game going a little bit.
All right. Thank you for your time. Good luck in the second half, guys. Jason
Gregory's team up by a dozen here at the halftime. Red River 31, Mandan 19. We're back with more on the Nodak Mutual Insurance halftime report, where Red River is out to a 12-point lead over Mandan here at the semifinals at the Super A. And when you take a look at our halftime stats, which are brought to you by your North Dakota certified seed industry, Dan, I know we're going to see why the Riders are out in front.
Well, a couple of big numbers. First of all, shooting. As Red River hits 44%, Mandan held to just 29%. And then the other number is the rebounds. I mean, 19-9 rebounds. And Mandan in the opening 17 minutes had just 1 offensive rebound. So a great job on the defensive glass by the Riders in the first half.
Yeah, Copeland with 5 of those boards. I know Hoplin also has 4 boards, but individuals in terms of scoring, it is also Copeland that leads that as well. 8 points is who is leading for the Rough Riders. Let's go down to Jacob with more.
All right, with Jason Horner, head coach at Mandan, you guys down 12 at the half. How do you change things around as far as particularly rebounding in the second half here?
Do things that we talked about before the game, maybe do one thing that we've talked about. We haven't done a thing that we've talked about before the game. We haven't rebounded well. We haven't contained the dribble. We're not doing things offensively. They're backing off our posts. There's a lot of things you can do when that happens. We haven't done one because we're just sitting there watching the ball instead of making basketball plays.
I know in the first half you mentioned to the guys, stop nodding, just do it. Do you see that maybe coming through here in the second half?
You will see. I mean, they've done it before where they've been down and have some urgency, but it's got to start now. We can't do it with 4 minutes to go.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck in the second half, guys.
I know Coach Horner says that I'm hard on my team because I expect a lot out of them. And given that and given his response to Jacob's questions, you know he expects a lot of his team effort-wise here in the second half. And that second half is about a minute away, but the first half easily won by the Riders. Red River will have the ball to start the second half. 18 minutes on the clock here at the Super A. This is the Fargo Dome, and you are watching NBC North Dakota Sports. We have 4 semifinal games to bring you today.
Coyle defending Arvidsson again.
That's Arvidsson with the ball right there. Marcellet switches off of him. Now it's back. Good left-handed crossover move. Kick out to the corner. And Copeland will pick up his second foul. This would be on a charge.
Well, what kind of demeanor is Mandan going to come out with here in the second half? You know, inside that Mandan locker room, there was a challenge issued by head coach Jason Horner, and a pretty staunch one, I would add, as well.
The thing for Mandan is they're going to have some shots fall, because the best way to pick up your defense is to have a few shots fall. Everything about basketball gets pretty when the ball goes through the hoop, and it hasn't so far for Mandan with only 19 points. You might think you're trying hard defensively as Arvidsson spins and hits.
Well, and they just posted him up on the blocks. Part of that versatility. At one point or another this season, Red River in different games posted up 6 different people in the blocks.
Coyle tried to answer, and his shot was long.
So Arvidsson can do that. Farrell can do that. Copeland can do that. You got Hoplin, Burris, who's not playing today. It just creates mismatches. That's what Red River is looking for each time that they're forced into an offensive set game like this one. Where can we find the best mismatch?
Jans is trying to be physical for the guy who just made the pass to Arvidsson on a cut. So how many times do you think you've seen that? Arvidsson to Copeland, back to Arvidsson.
Yeah, that's been a steady diet of that for Red River, really the last 2 years.
Biggest lead, I believe, of the game, 16. It was 15 in the first half. Travel call, as Mack came down with the rebound, but lost his footing as well.
Arvidsson yesterday was a man on the boards. We talked about him having, overall not the kind of day he expected, especially shooting-wise, but still ended up with 14 rebounds in yesterday's game. The only thing that Arvidsson has done to this point of the tournament, he has yet to hit a 3 LT.
Yeah, that seems a little odd when he has so many of them. Ball still being knocked around. The thing with Arvidsson in his game yesterday was kind of like last week when we were at the B, and Coach Hagler was talking about Jake Hagler going, well, I kind of wished he would have hit a few more shots, and that was the game where he was 1 assist away from the triple-double.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing with Arvidsson yesterday.
Sneaky numbers yesterday, yeah.
I think that might go against the Riders, and it does. The offensive foul and the second of the game on Anderson. Yeah, because Arvidsson, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 3 steals yesterday. Yeah. So that's why I said you're right, but
right. And then you look at his shooting numbers, you're going, 5 of 17. That's real. That's not a Mac Arvidsson type of shooting night.
Brooklyn, I think, just picked up his 3rd as he was battling.
That'll get some activity from the Red River bench.
That activity is Blake Chemnitz.
Well, 2 things happen there. You take one of your 2 best players off the court, and you lose a little bit of that versatility because Chemnitz is pretty much strictly a perimeter guy. He's one of those few guys that you're not going to find being posted up on the blocks, and he's not quite as quick either defensively as what Copeland will give you.
Collins into the lane with a good head and shoulder fake, but a little too good. His shoes didn't stay where they were supposed to. Travel. Little half court put on here by Mandan.
Trying to do exactly that.
Collins takes it away. Coyle still can't go. Coyle bumped, and his points this trip will have to come from the line.
I think Jason Horner right there, that was a good coaching decision. I mean, you're at the point of the game where, 1, you got to force the issue a little bit. But 2, you do it at a time when you take Matt Copeland, the point guard, off the court because of the 3rd foul. You bring in a guy like Chemnitz who is not near the ball handle that Matt Copeland is. So, A, they needed to do it, force some of that full court pressure. B, they timed it well.
And you also get a second starter with 3 fouls now, because that went against Anderson. Six points here for Coyle, averaging over 20. He is a finalist for the Mr. Basketball Award, as is Mac Arvidsson. That'll come at the end of our coverage on Saturday. Mac, long 3. Boy, what great elevation, and he must have heard you talking about the tournament.
He's saying, you know what, Hammer? So I'm 0 for 9 for 3s. Now, what more do you want me to do? Well, how about that hit deep 3 there?
Travel along the baseline under good pressure.
He does get great elevation, though, doesn't he?
He does. 14:43 to play. Biggest lead of the game right now for Red River, out in front by 17 points. We'll be right back. Well, if you're looking for field goals in the second half, that's the only guy you need to look for.
There you go. He's got 7 second half points, 12 points, 4 rebounds on the afternoon for Mac Arvidsson.
Arvidsson jumped into game-high scoring honors. The way he jumped on that last 3. And here's part of the pressure that Mandan's forced to put on. You may give up a few of these.
That's right. I mean, you hit it right on the head there, LT. As we were talking in the break that we can, Mandan's still going to come with their pressure. Now with it, it's risk and reward.
Collins was fouled before the shot, so it'll be an inbound underneath. That's the 3rd foul on Chemnitz. So in a matter of less than a minute, 3 players for Red River all picked up foul number 3. Another chance on the offensive end here for Mandan. Back cut Collins, laid it up and in. Trying to run and jump. Another layup. And Coyle is going to get called for the foul here as Hoplin will go to the line.
Well, 2 straight possessions. You know, you go back to the first possession, and Mandan created some havoc with the full court pressure. Now back-to-back possessions, and Red River has been able to do this, break it for easy baskets.
6 points for Hoplin, first trip to the line. At 6'6", tops on the team and block shots.
Thought he'd finish it with a flush, though, LT.
You gotta make sure you make it. You gotta make it.
That's coach talk.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he'd hammer it too. 20-point lead. Collins drew the foul. Second one on Hoplin.
16 fouls on the Riders already. We haven't even played 4 minutes here in the second half. Just 1 on Mandan.
Collins 75% on the year from the line. 8 points in the game. And two very highly regarded teams right here. Red River, before the playoffs started, rated number 1 in the final poll of the year. Mandan was number 3 in that ranking. Bartosh out between the circles. Farrell had a solid start and then was quiet, but he collides with Jans.
Ooh, nasty collision, and Ricky Farrell is feeling that. Aaron Jans is put together, but with Kroplon on the bench, Farrell knows that he's got to do a little more of this. He's got to be some offense for the Riders. Another strong, aggressive move along the baseline like we saw him take in the first half.
Farrell's 3 out of 3 this afternoon, 7 points now.
He should be fresh. He played 8 minutes in the first half.
In and out on the second one. Coyle on the drive, blocked by Hoplin. Double dribble, I thought.
Yes, it was. Yep. Coyle was around the ball, but I don't think he got a hand on it. From our angle, anyway.
It didn't seem like it, anyway. Set the play for the top of the key, and that tip means it came up a little bit short. Arvidsson works. Now a setup here for Red River. Farrow and Collins. Another athletic play.
One of the keys to the game. Let's go back to him. He's not his team's leading scorer, but he's now doing those things that he's gifted to do with his skills at a time when, well, again, one of the key offensive players is on the bench. And that's what's happened this year when either Mac Arvidsson or Kroplin have been either in foul trouble or been held down. Ricky Farrell's been the X factor.
Schmidt comes in for Coyle. Coyle has not had the shooting day he would like. He's got the 1 field goal and 6 points. 9 points now for Ricky Farrell. And it's a 21-point lead. Collins for the 3. Westby runs it down. Now Jans will work into the lane, get to the hoop, but can't finish.
Mandan in the first half was 1 of 8 outside the three-point line. And their fortunes haven't been much better here in the second half either.
And so much of what Mandan does revolves around making some of those three-pointers. Anderson hands over to Arvidsson. He elevates again. Good job.
Good hustle play right there.
Yeah, that was Mitchell Anderson with that hustle play Dan was talking about. Schmidt and Coyle will come back in. No, Keenan Warner, excuse me, number 20. He's a junior at 5'8". And Casey Couchman is in for the Braves once again, as the Riders will inbound underneath their own bucket. Farrell will trigger that inbound. Goes out front to Bartosh. Bartosh drew the double team and also worked his way into the foul, which will go against Westby, his second. And the Riders continue to shoot better than 50%. Mandan's slid all the way down to 22.
8 field goals made in this game.
Good explosive move there for Arvidsson. He's got a nose for the rim, doesn't he?
Seeing a little bit of his game here in the second half, aren't we? We've seen him explode to the rim. We've seen him hit the three. We've seen his ability to get off the good jump shot because of his great leaping ability.
Second foul on Arvidsson. You know, the thing now, you know, there's still 11 minutes left and Mandan's on the line, but you sit there and you go, just kind of go, okay, if we would go right now, we meaning Mandan, on the ultimate run, like a 20-0 run, we're still behind. That's how big just to put in perspective how big the lead is for Red River.
And Red River's just not giving any second opportunities. I mean, Mandan went with the full court pressure for a few minutes, but got burned twice in a row, backed away from that. So you've played that card. You may have to go back to that card again just to try to get maybe, you know, a less double-digit lead than you face now.
Riders take the break. We will as well. It is Red River way out in front. But times this year, Devin Coyle just has carried Mandan, especially late in the games. And right now, Coyle with just 1 field goal and 4 free throws to add up to his 6-point total. Collins leading all scorers for Mandan right now with 9.
And we talk about what Mac Arvidsson has done here in the second half offensively, but who's been guarding Devin Coyle in this game? It's been Arvidsson.
Double screen up high for Arvidsson. Someone cuts to the basket, and that someone is Mitchell Anderson. He's the guy that sets the first of the double screen, and then just makes a dive to the basket. I like that play. Inadvertent horn. That's why it stopped. And now, since we stopped, Collins is able to come back in. That's Warner with it. Coyle gets set for the 3. And another rebound by Hopland. Coyle got a hand on it, created the steal. And there's the 3rd foul on Arvidsson, not wanting to give up the layup. I'm not sure why. I think he'd help his team more by not fouling there.
I would think so too. I mean, it's 50-25, so you give up a layup. You've still got a 23-point lead, and you've got your best player with 2 fouls rather than 3 fouls, and you wouldn't have Blake Chemnitz about to enter the game.
Chemnitz
although
comes
Chemnitz
in for Bartosh.
Is not coming in for Arvidsson anyway.
Well,
so Jason Gregory's thinking is, you know, I feel good about this lead. I feel great about the way we're playing defensively and the way we're rebounding, so I'm comfortable leaving Arvidsson on the floor with 3 fouls because we're up 50-27.
Chemnitz working the point now. Anderson squaring up and getting one to go, so he's got another bucket. 6 points now for Mitchell. Coyle on the offensive rebound, and this time they let Coyle go and not foul him.
There's a capsule of the day, kind of day it's been shooting for Mandan. A good look, a good follow, each falling off the front part of the rim.
Coyle knocks it away from Arvidsson. So the Riders now will inbound underneath Red River's bucket, just off to the side. Now it's Mandan's ball after the errant pass. Coyle with a little bump, got some space, then he got the shot. A quick timeout.
Albeit he really had to work for it.
No, it's a foul after the shot went through. Oh, just a warning. Okay, here's the Farmers Union Insurance replay. Coyle with the shot that goes through, and then you saw one of the Braves just kind of bop the ball. You're not supposed to hit it, just let it come through. You're not even supposed to hand it, grab it and then hand it to the other guy. If you're on offense, you're just supposed to let it drop.
Let it be.
Yep. Warner's first foul. Let it be. Who's your favorite Beatle?
I like to, I like to go
question.
out of the mold. I like to go out of the mold and go with George Harrison.
George? Okay.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Yep.
As a Beatle. There's Collins now on a little bit of a breakout, but Hopland does a good job to get back and kind of forces Mandan to roll out of it. Warner's open from the elbow.
Why not? I mean, one of the rare occasions where Mandan has had a really wide open shot today.
Just the third field goal in the second half as we're 9.5 minutes into it. Collins has 2 field goals and that one from Warner.
3 field goals in 9.5 minutes after scoring 19.
Warner gets the ball loose. Jans comes away with it. And Coyle has to go to the left hand. His shot was altered. I'm liking the game that Mitchell Anderson's playing here today.
Giving him great minutes off the bench.
Long pass and the lay-in. Hopland just hanging out there and going, guards, if you beat that pressure, don't forget about me.
The big guy's just hanging out here.
23-point lead. 20-point lead. Jans hits the 3. Mandan takes the timeout. 7:47 left. Braves down by 20. We'll be right back. Apparently someone forgot his razor today.
That's never happened before, has it?
I don't think so.
No.
Your local Chevy dealers sponsor the player of the game. Dan and I will select one after all of the TV games. Putting some pressure on Arvidsson, but a little bit too much pressure there was Aaron Jans. 4th foul on Jans. Now Croplin. Just hit me every time I say it wrong next time, Dan. And Collins scores underneath. I'm sorry, Mac. I just got it in my brain yesterday and I can't get it right. Double team on the ball. Someone needs to help. Good swing pass over to Arvidsson, and he got the 3.
12 second half points for Arvidsson.
17 total. Croplin with that pass. Didn't take him long. Croplin. You're supposed to hit me.
Just call him Mac. And
But
go
the
with
other
Arvidsson.
the other guy's Mac, too. Then I'd get it wrong with the first names. Mac tried to get it over to Hopland. And Collins has come alive offensively. He's up to 15-10 in the second half.
Well, he's been the spark. I mean, maybe too little too late, but he's given at least some spark offensively. 19 with 6 to play.
That's a deep one.
I know they've pulled out some miracles. Yesterday was one of them when they were down by 13 with 4 to play, and they're down by 11 last week against Bismarck. But 19 with 6 to play.
Woo. That's pretty big.
That's huge.
Now Coyle isolated on the right side. They're calling an offensive foul on Coyle.
That's been a physical matchup today when those two have been paired up, and also when Farrell's been guarding Jans, it's been kind of physical.
Coyle's waiting for Croplin. On the drive, beautiful dish.
That's why Matt Croplin has been the leading distributor this year for Red River at 7 a game. I mean, those are fat numbers. If you can average 17 points and dish out 7 assists a game, you're accounting for a lot of points throughout the course of the season.
Westby hits the 3. Anderson got himself pinned. Ball loose. Still loose. And another one from Westby. 5 quick points from Westby and a little spark here for Mandan. Chemnitz still keeping his dribble into the lane, and the Riders lost it.
Not a good pass. Chemnitz has got that hesitation move that he uses, all the time. Got himself in the lane, but then underhanded a pass that hit Hoplin right in the knees. Wasn't a good spot to catch it for the big guy. This is still a sizable lead, but you're on the verge here. Maybe just a timeout to steady your team a little bit if you're Jason Gregory.
I thought he might have taken it right there.
I thought so too.
He's going to let his team play through it just a little bit. That timeout might come depending on what Mandan does in its next few possessions. Now Coyle. And he hits his first 3 of the day.
Like probably right now.
The lead carved to 13.
It was
23 not long ago.
It was 23 not long ago at all.
Collins with the steal. Nope, there's a whistle. But the whistle will go against Croplin. That's his 4th. Right after the steal, he reached in. That'll put Collins on the free throw line. Does Mandan have another one in them?
Really? But this was a 23-point lead just a few minutes ago.
And it rolls out. Well, the Riders trying really, to play some possession ball here, and that's not really their game.
But they've done it the whole game. They played a great half court offensively.
But half court offense is different than possession ball, where you're trying to get it down to single digits and work the clock and get on. Got them on their heels a bit.
You still have to do basically the same thing you've done in the half court all game long because you spent so much time in that half court offense.
Foul on Collins. Croplin's 3 for 3 this afternoon. It is a 1-and-1. And Jans pulls the rebound. Warner off a screen, hands back to Jans. And that'll be a foul on Westby. And John Hoplin will go down into the to be a 1-and-1 yet still. That's the 9th team foul. Matt Anderson will come in for Copeland.
$14 of 18 free throws made today by the Riders with that one.
Well, you talked about how big they were yesterday, 14 of 17. Hopland got both of those to go. We'll go away, and when we come back, there'll be 3:25 to play, and it's a 61-46 Red River lead. It's time for the Farmers Union Insurance Fan Cam. Farmers Union Insurance, premier partner of the North Dakota High School Activities Association.
Red River led 31-19 at the half, holding Mandan to 7 of 24 field goals in the half. The Riders built their biggest lead at 25, at 50-25. That was their biggest lead.
Then it hung between 23 and 21 and then 20 for a long time. Almost a steal. Matt Anderson got into that passing lane. Copeland back in. He's playing with 4 fouls. So is Jans. The two number 14s battle. Bounce pass to Westby and the assist to Coyle. It's a 10-point day for Westby. Despite the big lead, when we talked about how Mandan has kind of been able to grind or been able to come back, you kind of had a sense that Red River wasn't going to just waltz off into the sunset here today. They're going to have to earn it. And you earn it by getting opportunities like that. Mack back to the free throw line. This time he will shoot 2.
Spreading the floor, working that shot clock down to 7 before they found Copeland a good shooting opportunity.
Missed his last free throw after making his first 3. You see his numbers today with those 8 points, 6 rebounds.
But his, to this point, 9 points below his average, but, they've had some pick-me-ups. Mitchell Anderson's had a strong game today in a lot of minutes. Hopland's been good offensively today. Farrell, there's been the Farrell factor for the Riders.
Warner will push it ahead to Westby. Down by 14, make it a dozen. Westby has 12 points, 9 in the second half. Long pass ahead to Anderson. See, now there's the difference between what Red River in a game situation would do as opposed to just any point earlier in the game. That would have been an attack the rim move.
Yeah, that would be attack mode.
Coyle has 4 fouls. First free throw in the tournament there for Chemnitz. 4 points today. Oh, making free throws, that's a wonderful thing when your team is ahead. Collins got through the lane, it bounced out. Farrell knocked it around, but Warner has it now for Mandan. Less than 2 minutes to go. 2-shot foul because it is the team's 10th. That's the 4th one on Blake. Copeland back in, switching in for Anderson. And Red River gets closer and closer to having a chance to play for a championship. It's been so long since Red River has won a title that they played a team from Grand Forks.
How about that?
That doesn't exist right now
How
anymore.
About that? That's a good trivia question.
They won.
You should try that on somebody. I bet you'd stump them sometime.
Let's just try it. Well,
Name that school that Red River beat in 1969 when they won their only state championship. And like you said, you gave them a clue, but it's still a tough question.
Yeah.
School that no longer exists.
Arvidsson made both of those, so he's up to 19 and the lead's back up to 15. Coyle got it back. Minute 40 left. Collins just had to run it off the leg of one of the riders as he was pinned over there. Out front to Coyle. Battle for the board goes to Matt Anderson. Warner stops the clock with the foul. The guy who just hit his last two goes to shoot two more.
You know, for a team that's only lost 2 games in the season, sometimes it's hard to imagine that, okay, this is a team that faced some adversity. Well, they did face some adversity late in the season. They lost their last regular season game. There was what is well now documented locker room incident in which there was some damage done to the Wahpeton locker room. 2 Rough Rider players were suspended for the first round of the EDC game. They won that and they advanced to the East Region Championship game, lost that to Shanley. And the players earlier this week told us that that didn't distract us, that refocused us. And I think what that did probably, LT, is really built a wall around a team. You know, teams can react 2 different ways in that situation. You know, something like that can rip apart a team. At other times, what it does is just builds the wall stronger around the team.
Well, I like the way Coach Gregory, when we talked with him yesterday, he said it was a perfect opportunity for us, meaning the coaches and coaching staff, to teach and talk about life lessons and be upfront about it. Mistake, yes, were made. What'd you learn from it? And you go from there. So, yeah.
First of 4 state semifinal games today. We go to girls basketball after this for the first semifinal game. Bismarck Century against Shanley. And then tonight, Wahpeton against Shanley in a boys semifinal, and Bismarck High against West Fargo in a girls semifinal.
Yeah, and in the girls bracket, the 1 and 2 seeds all won. Long pass ahead to Arvidsson. And Westby challenged him with his 4th foul.
Mic check.
Arvidsson's got a chance to go over the 20 mark if he makes them both. Oh, that's his 5th foul, excuse me. Westby fouled out. But really, when Red River jumped out of the, really got going strong and took that 12-point lead and made it 20 whatever, is really the guy at the free throw line that kind of pulled the trigger, if you will, on that run. He's got 21 points.
Without a doubt. I mean, took a 12-point lead, and as you said, it expanded it to 19, 20, as much as 25.
Collins will drive it again. Hoffman has another block. Under a minute. Now Warner from the corner.
Well, I think we saw today at Red River in the half-court offense.
Answered some questions,
Answered some questions and proved that they are, in fact, in the half-court, a team that is built from the inside out. Sometimes, again, you get caught up with Croplin and Arvidsson because they are perimeter players. Well, as we know, they do more than that, but they are a team with their blockability players offensively that's built from the inside out. And we saw that a lot today. If you took a look at a shot chart, you know, from the first half especially, I think you could see that they really scored a lot of points from in the paint.
Well, yeah, we kind of talked about that, and you've been able to witness it at home, that in terms of tempo, Mandan got what it wanted. And then in the half court, Red River beat him. It's been a little bit of a tournament drought for Red River as well. I mean, the Riders last made it to the tournament in '09. You know, if you're talking Class B basketball, that's not a big deal. But for Class A, when 4 teams out of each region make it, it becomes, I don't know if you say not as difficult or whatever to try and make it, but the pure numbers say that,
Yeah, and one of the storylines now that has developed here in the A is Wahpeton and Red River. 2 teams that haven't had much success on the state tournament level are tasting success at the state A.
Success today is a 69-55 Red River victory. Had a lead up to 25 points on Mandan. 21-point effort for Mac Arvidsson today.
I wonder if the Riders felt like they proved something today. I'll be curious, you know, when Jacob gets a chance to talk to one of the Riders, prove something about maybe their resolve, maybe about what kind of team they are and different styles that they can play and what kind of defensive team they are.
Well, when you talk about defense, we'll just go back to yesterday. St. Mary's only scored 23 points in the second half.
That's true.
So there's back-to-back types of defensive efforts, and today a 55.1, 19 points in the first half. So if you take those two and combine them, that's 23 and 19. That's outstanding. Jacob has the leading scorer today. Jake.
All right, we've got the game-leading score here, Mac Arvidsson. You guys think how much of a statement game was this for you, taking down the top team from the West?
It was huge. The West they're good. Mandan's a good team. We just wanted to come out and play good defense and make sure we rebound.
Played good defense, played well in the half court. Do you think you proved, maybe answered some questions here?
Yeah, I think so. Some people have doubted us. We didn't end the year necessarily how we wanted to. We just wanted to come out here and just play as strong as we could.
Now leading into the state title game, looking for the school's first title in decades. What would that mean for you and your team?
Oh, it'd be awesome. It'd be a dream come true to me. We just want to come out and play hard and rebound and play defense like we did today.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations again. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Guys.
Thank you, Jacob. Red River wins it 69-55, and there were some of your answers right there.
I guess so, and I think Mac said it pretty distinctly that, yeah, there may be some people, despite winning the regular season EDC championship and being undefeated until the last day of the regular season, there were maybe a few of those people that had a few questions, but through the first 2